Look at this monster, the Ducati DraXter. DraXter. Today, this is what we're driving. This is what we're customizing. I wanted to give it a go because obviously the update just came out. And realistically, this bike looks... I didn't even need to describe. It looks stupid. Let's get it. We're going to properly give it some beans and see how this thing is to ride. Now, there were a few bikers around me a minute ago, but I clearly took too long in setting off, so I apologize if that was you. This thing looks ridiculous. The first thing you'll probably notice is the car-like tire on the back, which is flat. It's actually something that people do. I've done some research in my bike searching YouTube thing. When I first got into bikes on YouTube, I was watching bloody everything. There's so many channels about bike stuff, and it's so fascinating, so interesting. It's just a whole new world. It's super fun. Anyway, it's done because it's considered could be cheaper, but it does usually mean you're gonna turn like poo. I will say though, this is not handling as badly as I thought it would. It's got a bit of understeer, but it's a bike. I mean, it's the crew and it's a bike. They've added more understeer than normal. So this thing is gonna be built for very clearly drag racing, high speed, but not turning very well at high speed. But it is not too bad. It's a bike. You got to get used to it. Look how he's positioned, though. You'll be happy to know that there is customization for this bike, and that's exactly what we're going to do. It's a street race bike, so could this be one of the new bikes that I end up giving a go? Possibly. Possibly. Everybody knows bikes in PvP, elite. Let's get customizing. Hopefully, we can change the color. We can. I was hoping the black and yellow looks super cool, but I do definitely want to see what colors we have available, or at least what colors suit this bike. I think a yellow would suit it. A yellow on yellow would look quite nice indeed. Maybe more like a race yellow like this. I don't even know what you would call it. Like, this is more racy yellow compared to this. You know what I'm talking about. Yellow shirt. Time for a yellow whip. Maybe. Possibly. Maybe a blue. Oh, blue and white does go together rather well, but I do too many blue cars. It's not a car, though. Have I done a blue bike? I don't know. We're going to leave it like this for now to jump into the liveries, but I do want to brighten it up. That's rather interesting. They've added a few more yellow bits to it. Once this stuff clears, it's not going to clear, is it? A lot of people just seem to have thrown bits all over it. This was supposed to be a grey. Oh, they've made it carbon fiber. That's what they've done. We've also got a nice white-looking bike here, which it looks all right, to be fair, in the white. That's not too bad at all. I think the matte colors suit it best, so I might actually end up going for a white just to make it a little bit brighter, you know? But it's now time for the visual modifications. We've got 3 front lights to go from. We've got 1, 2... actually, with a nice yellow tint on it. I was hoping there'd maybe some different ones, but we've got yellow stripes on it. We've got some carbon fiber on the front. Do we want to put that carbon fiber on? I kind of like it having the white there. I'm going to wait on that. We're going to wait on that. I go forward to the seat. We can make that carbon as well. Man, why are you doing this to me, game? You're giving me options for carbon fiber when I've just decided to make the bloody thing white. We got the swing arm. It's probably going to go for the yellow one, isn't he? Is it even yellow? It's like a yellowy green. I think it's yellow. We're going to go for the exhaust. We've got 5 exhaust options. It says visual. It doesn't normally say visual. So I imagine it's not actually changing the exhaust is what they're trying to tell you here. Now, what's nice about this bike is it had an option, you can see there, to have the exhaust on both sides. Does this have it on both sides? No, it makes it so both exhausts are on one side. I'm going to go for the dual exhaust. And we got rear light customization as well. It's realistically just clearing up the back end. I guess it actually, did it change it? It did. It tinted the lights. It tinted the lights. So there is some customization on this bike. Of course, there's not a huge amount. We can decide if we want to put the carbon on there as well, which it does look pretty sweet. I think the carbon on the front is definitely going on. And then we've got vanity items. Can we change the tires on this? I don't. No, we can't. That would make sense because the tires are very specific on this bike. So I'm going to go for this nitro. We don't have all the nitros available. We've got tire smoke available. We've got underglows available. Do I want to go for an underglow? Maybe, do I have I don't have the correct underglow. This is disgraceful. Now, we already drove this leveled as it was. We're going to make this have a lot more power. Do I actually have enough parts? Because I do remember that I was running low on some area. I think it was a different class. We're fine. We're bumping this boy up in power. 195 miles per hour. 0 to 60 in 1.73. That's pretty quick. I'm definitely interested to see how this is going to drive. Or ride, should I say. We've come to some mountainous roads, because I think this is where the bike will be tested properly. Considering the fact it didn't really turn very well initially, we'll have to see what that's going to be like. Actually, I want to see the front view like. That's interesting. It's very solid, very tank-like, should I say. Anyway, let's get it. I'm going to keep it on this view because, honestly, for the visual view in terms of videos, I feel like this view looks better. I always feel bad going on the far view because realistically this is the easiest view to use. But I feel like it makes the bike look small. Bike ain't that small. Alright, pick a camera and stick with it. We're going uphill for the beginning. And you know what? At about this speed going uphill, it's not doing too shabby. Ducati bikes are definitely my... I just killed Bambi. They're adding a lot of my favorite bikes to this game, and I feel like they just keep doing it. Of course, the last bikes they added, the Ducatis, they were the race versions of the bikes that they added, which was pretty cool. Of course, this, I'm glad that they're still adding bikes. They don't seem to add planes or boats, but they do seem to add a lot of bikes, which, considering that this is my newfound, like, hobby, riding bikes, I do very much appreciate them doing it. So yeah, it does feel quite beefy. I'm just going to ignore the fact that we just ran over another animal. Peter will not be happy. I don't know about you, but I was always calling it PETA, or like PETA. Because that's what, do Americans say PETA? But Peter, it just sounds like I'm saying Peter. But I guess that's what you say for Peter as well. I just differentiated PETA to Peter, and I assumed that's how it was said. But no. You would call someone called Peter as well. That just is weird. Do you remember in the Crew 1? I don't know how many of you actually played that game, but when you got to this mountainous area, it was all covered in snow all the time. I actually want to get to these mountain roads because these are sick. And it's even better now that it's not snowy all the time. Look at that. That's a corner. Yo, mate. Social distancing. I like it. I appreciate it. You're saving the... Oh, that's not where I want to go. Skur. Oh, my God. I'm sorry. Holy what? See, when they said drag, I didn't mean properly grip up building. That is the best thing I've ever seen. I didn't even mean to do that. Since when can we ride up things like that? That was so unintentional. Go on, do it again. That is amazing. Come on, give me... I need to properly ramp up it. It's because I did a wheelie. All right, we'll give up on that idea. That was just the best coincidence ever, apparently. Amazing. I'm proud of myself. That was pretty cool. Okay, now we're on the snowy roads, but there's no snow on the roads, which means we can actually ride a bike in the snow. Holy... So I had my bike in January, which is where it gets pretty cold here. But luckily, there was really no snow this year. See, this is why you buy a bike. You can't do that in a car. You would have been slowing down. You would have been stuck. Not that you would do that pass like that in real life. But you know what I'm saying? There's so many advantages to having a bike that I adore it. In terms of commuting, it's my favorite way to commute. Considering the fact that I don't have to wait for people. I can just, I'd say pass them. But you don't pass them like that. You would pass them on that side if you were Brit. Alright? that's why I did it. I like unique vehicles, and that's why I was drawn to this bike. It's very different. It's very, I mean, it's got customization. It's a street race class vehicle, which I am welcoming all the time. I do wonder though, like, are there ever going to be any hypercar class bikes? Surely a lot of these bikes could be in the hypercar class. And there's something to consider for the next game. Ivory Tower. I guess the top speed is what would be limiting that. Because a lot of these bikes top out, well, in sports car territory, rather than supercar territory, or hypercar, should I say. But there we are. The Ducati DraXter. My camera's breaking. Oh my goodness! Hopefully you did enjoy. Let me know. Have you picked up this bike? Are you using this bike? I love the swaying of the camera. It feels so good. You don't sway this much in real life, otherwise you are You would fall off if you were like this. Alright, thanks so much for watching this video. Be sure to smash the like, subscribe if you're not. See you in the next video. Until next time. Do you understand what I just said? No? Peace.